Israel rebounded from its darkest day to deliver one of the most stunning military comebacks in history. But we're not done yet. The final elements, the final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City. That is why Israel must finish the job. That is why we want to do so as fast as possible.
A defiant Benjamin Netanyahu vowing that Israel will finish the job against Hamas, the moment coming after more than 100 diplomats walked out of the United Nations to protest his speech, despite Hamas rejecting a number of peace deals. Let's bring in Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor and Heritage Foundation VP of National Security. Great to see you this morning, Victoria. Thanks for joining us. So obviously, the UN is pretty irrelevant, but there is growing frustration outside of the United Nations about this effort to do something with Hamas. Where do you see this going from here?
Well, good morning, Charlie. I mean, I would say the UN is entirely irrelevant. I mean, what happened this week, except for the Prime Minister's speech and President Trump's speech, I don't think anyone would have a single talking point about anything meaningful that happened at the UN. There was a lot of diplomatic theater, as you just reported. We had diplomats storming out as if the Prime Minister cares whether they're sitting there or not. He had a bigger audience. They broadcast that speech into Gaza so that people of the Palestinians living in Gaza could hear it. The IDF soldiers active in Gaza could hear it. And, the president's speech was also a breath of fresh air from that podium. But in terms of what's happening next in Gaza, my understanding is that Steve Witkoff has a new plan for Gaza. This has been presented to a number of Arab leaders. The Prime Minister met with the Emirati Foreign Minister last night. That was on the news. And that this is what will be discussed when he comes to the White House on Monday. So hopefully we can get to resolution to that conflict. We can get the hostages out and we can get Hamas out of Gaza. Then we can start talking about the future for the Strip.
So I want to play a clip from Friday of the president talking about his hopeful, expressing hope about, let me play this.
And it's looking like we have a deal on Gaza. And we'll let you know.
Mr. President.
I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back. It's going to be a deal that will end the war. It's going to be a deal it's going to be peace. I think we have a deal. That'll be.
So what do you think he's talking about there?
Right. I mean, the terms have been pretty simple. And bear in mind, Charlie, I mean, this war could have ended on October 8th. I mean, it never needed to start in the first place. But the reason it's been going on is that Hamas has been taking, over 200 hostages. There's still 40 in Gaza. We're looking at the second anniversary of October 7th in a couple of weeks. These people have been literally in these terror tunnels for almost 2 years. They need to come out. President Trump has been very clear about this since December of last year, that the hostages have to come home. This is despicable. Hamas needs to disarm, and they have no future in the governance of Gaza. Those are very simple terms. And if those terms are met, the fighting will stop immediately. Israel does not want to prolong this war. They know how awful it is. They want it to end as well. It's Hamas that's perpetuating it. So I think we need to put the burden on Hamas to meet these simple terms. And if the hostages come out, if they disarm, if they get out of the governance of Gaza, then we can move forward. And I think the president's correct. We'll have a deal.
Victoria Coates, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.